Blackley site has been around since the 1920s, 1930s.
I only lived 2 doors up from the main gate, so I was out of bed and into work.
We've had 3 generations connected to Blackley, so yeah, a real sort of family thing.
I actually met my wife at Blackley. I think she worked in the typing pool in the days when we had people needed to have things typed.
I remember the new Hexagon Tower being built.
My father was one of the people who moved to the tower in 1974. So in fact, 3 generations of our family all worked in the tower.
It's nice because there's elements of the building that are obviously here from 50 years ago, you know, and you hope that your input has something towards the building.
My granddad worked in the dye sheds. My nan worked in there was a director's restaurant, and they'd have silver service at lunchtime, so proper waitresses with all the uniform, and my nan did that. So they had some really good memories. So I started in 1989 with ICI, and I loved it from day one. My family were like, oh my God, Paula's found her place.
I was a fell runner. I ran for England, and my colleagues and friends on floor 5 as we were at the time, naturally they started to speculate how quick could I run from the bottom of the tower to the top of the tower. This very quickly developed into an opportunity to have a betting event. So people started to place bets on how long they thought it would take me to get all the way up the stairwell, and there were some outrageous bets, people saying 10 minutes and so on, which you could have walked up quite comfortably. But one of I think my ex-supervisor, Terry Dolan, he was the lowest time bet. He put 1 minute as his bet. And on the day, I ran 56 seconds, and Terry won his money. Often when we had visitors to the site, colleagues coming from overseas, someone would, you know, if they were walking up the stairs or they were, you know, there was some reason why they could say, yeah, you know, that Dave Cartridge, he could run up here in 56 seconds.
My career has gone through various organisations, but in all of those changes, Blackley and the Hexagon Tower has been that sort of anchor. I always joke and say, I stay still, everything else moves around me. And it's, you know, it is true, but it's always given a sense of sort of stability and the connection. I still see people now that I used to work with back in Avisia or Zenica days. Definitely that sort of community still feels the same as it did back then, even though we work for different companies.
Many of the scientific companies that remain were from the Zenica Avisia days, and many of the people were colleagues and still know each other well. And even now, we work for different companies, but going across the car park or when we go for lunch or something like that, you'll stumble over somebody you've known for 20 odd years. It's great.
Over the last sort of, say, 7, 8 years, maybe even 10 years, we've had a good, strong influx, and that continues, of younger people into it. People at the opposite end of the work spectrum like myself. You know, we are slowly being replaced by younger, more dynamic models. But you know, the enthusiasm you see with a lot of these young people now, and particularly on the R&D side, it's good to see. And you know, they've hopefully got careers in front of them, which will be as enjoyable as mine's been.
There's still the problems, you know, that we solve with our biocides are still out there. They'll never go away. So what I would hope for people in the future is that innovation continues and really gives the people the opportunity to develop those scientific careers, the problem solving and making, you know, people's lives better, albeit with more modern chemistries, let's say.
My main focus for any legacy is always the people. So it's really a legacy about the next generation of scientists and their impact on the world.
You know, a lot of people don't get lifelong careers anymore, but it seems that somewhere like this has a lot of people who have been here a long time So that kind of element of life hasn't really disappeared. You know, everyone's got their little part in the system. Everyone has their role and everyone is important.
I've seen the changes. It's nice to see how it's all become one sort of building, so everyone's sort of together as more of a Hexagon community, as I call it. And I think people are probably just going to look forward to see what is yet to come.
Hexagon is so much more than just a building. It's not just bricks and mortar, it's about everyone else, about the whole community that's in there. And we want to be able to enable that community to become bigger, better, stronger, scale, grow faster. And not only that, the new lab space is enabling us to be able to get new people and new startup businesses back into the community, which is fab. It's so cool that we're going to now have a whole new load of businesses coming through that are going to take on that culture and history and reputation of what used to be the old ICI building, but is now Hexagon Tower Pioneer Group. It's just, yeah, it's really exciting.
It is a scientific hub. I think it's very much still dominating. But I love the fact it's repurposing. There's more people. The NHS has got a significant part here, and that's all the better for the site. I think, it's a great place to work.
People have got personality and are incredibly intelligent and good at their jobs. And I think that's the specialness of Hexagon Tower and Blackley site. And that's what I've fought for and really pushed, is that combination is what brings people in every day. They want to come to work, they like coming to work.